All right, guys. Here for another episode of Needed Sports Podcast. Here with my man DeChe Milburn. We're up here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Just had some lunch, as always, with Zaine Josh up in Dallas. So always good to have a guest on. DeChe's been on previous episodes before on just strictly audio. So now that we're bringing the video into the picture now, it's a little bit more organic. See how it goes. Again, we're here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Just had lunch. So today we just kind of want to talk about DeChe this year, recapping it with training and, with your platform and your brand that you're building, being able to go to the Houston Football Club dinner the other night with some pretty big guys that are down here in Galveston County area that are going to play Division I football. And so just kind of go into detail about how your year's been and really what you're striving, to do out here in this community with your platform.
Well, this year kind of went by and happened fast. Everything happened fast. I've been coaching Mike Evans Elite for like 3 or 4 years now with McKendrick Williams. Excuse me. I didn't really take the training side as serious as I did the coaching side, but this year of the first year, I kind of took it serious, and it took off quick. We still do Mike Evans Elite. I'll explain a little more on that later, but as far as the training side, Coach Moore, he's at Colorado. He's a receiver coach. He recruited me when he was at UCLA, and that's part of what I'll explain later about relationships too. But he just really gave me an opportunity to take his spot at a gym called Bowling up in Cypress. So that's how I got to start training Ricky Seals, Cadell Hodge, and all those guys. And I got some college guys I worked with, Josh Williams from LSU, Corey Sullivan at Central Michigan, a few other people from there. And just down here in Galveston County, I really reached out to a lot of the guys in the area that went to my alma mater first, Ashton, Noah, and those guys. I was working with them, and then Coach Reggie ended up sending me a lot of guys, and Noah's dad and Donovan started working with me, and then it just started happening organically like that. A lot of the kids know each other and want to do certain stuff like that, so me knowing what I'm doing and being able to help them, it just happened to where a lot of those clients happened. Where it wasn't like I had to reach out or do the most to get clients. It's like Julian Humphrey, for instance. That's family. Him and Devin, him and John, his big brother, they went to school since 6th grade. So my dad and Julian's dad grew up. So a lot of that stuff is just family and organic. It was good to work at home to help everybody else down here.
Yeah, definitely. And just to kind of key on some of those athletes that you named. So that's Ashton Shootman, class of 2023. Noah Thomas, class of 2022. Both of those receivers. Noah's committed to A&M, should be signing on Wednesday at Pierce Springs High School. And then Donovan, that's Donovan Green, tied in from Dickinson, and he's also committed to Texas A&M as well, class of 2022.
Yep.
So these are some big name, guys that working with right here in this area. So that's got to be exciting. And I know you also had the pleasure of going to do some touchdown club dinner, and you were also a part of that being in high school as well, out of Pierce Springs. So kind of going into detail about how you were able to experience that at that age, and then also experience it now as more of like a mentor, leader role to be there with those guys, and differences and really how that community has changed over a decade by now.
Okay, yeah. So really, like I was saying, I was really on the coaching side of things. So working with Coach Reggie at first, it was really a sense of not that the kids aren't as good or inferior, but obviously Donovan, Noah, and Julie and those kind of guys are special. So when those guys started working out with me and reaching out to me, it was a little different because that's kind of how I was in high school. And it's good to work with guys like that because I needed somebody to tell me, like, I got to tighten up on this or this stuff still matters. You know what I'm saying? Because once you get to that, you kind of, you can get complacent, which is good to have somebody there to help. But being able to go to the touchdown club and war with 3 people is surreal, you know what I'm saying? Because it's only 12 players divided on offense and defense alone. So to have 3 guys out of 24 is just, you know what I'm saying? That's a big deal. those guys earned it. You know what I'm saying? They worked hard for it. Noah had 21 touchdowns this year. Donovan had double-digit touchdowns, had a great year. Julian gave up less than 20 catches this year, so it was all deserved. And being able to just intake it after I did it, it was a little different. There was a lot of coaches, there's a lot more recruiting going on. There's a lot of reporters there. I seen Nick Harris and a few other people there, so it was a little different with social media, I think. But as far as the event, it's just a nice event to be around all those people and to let those kids get their flowers while they're still here. Because sometimes it gets a little bit too serious once you're that big. You know what I'm saying? It can turn to a job. So for them to still be able to enjoy their accomplishments before they leave and stuff like that, it was a really big deal.
Yeah. And it's funny, how you're saying that there's a lot of coaches and everything. So basically, there was still recruiting going on, even after the Houston touchdown dinner event, which is a really special event. Even Connor Weidman was there as well. He's now the number one quarterback in the class of 2022 class. With Q and Edwards, recent news that came out, he's planning to transfer to Texas. So that should be a battle. That should be very interesting to see over the years with Connor Weidman, Q and Edwards. University of Texas also landed Kevin Banks. We were talking about that earlier. That was a really big land by them. So hopefully A&M can land Cam Newberry out of Tascasita. That's a guy that me and Zaine have been talking about that we're helping once. He's got family in A&M right now, Kenny Green. So
hey, Josh,
doing a great job of recruiting. Yep.
How are those athletes selected for that dinner and that event? Are they voted on by the coaches in the area, or how does that work?
So the process, because I found out when I had went, so how the process goes is there's a preseason touchdown club award list. So when I went, I wasn't on the preseason list because I had transferred in and I didn't play the 2 years before. So it kind of goes off what you did in the area, so to say. So they kind of have an idea in mind. But then it also goes off your film during your senior season, which they run your senior season film during the awards banquet the whole time to show what you did. So it's one of those things that's a preseason award and a postseason award. And they also have the Coach of the Year award. So I'm not sure if it's journalists who collectively selected, but I know it's coaches.
I think it's journalists and coaches that are on there prior to the season. They have a committee, that they have, but I think it's full of journalists and coaches that does that. I remember Marcus was a part of that. Through Springs, obviously, I remember you being a part of that. There was somebody else from Springs as well that was a part of that. I believe Howard was a part of that.
Howard probably was.
Club as well.
Yep.
Howard Matthews, who also played at Texas A&M. So, like I said, really cool opportunity. And for me, both of us going to Clear Springs High School, you're rocking it right there with the hoodie.
Shout out Coach Daly for the hoodie, man.
Shout out Coach Daly. Man, and Zaine will actually be pretty cool because you'll be able to meet Coach Daly at my wedding. He's going to be there. He was the offensive coordinator while we were there. Went on to be the head coach, athletic director at Clear Springs. But prior to that, also going and having a stint at Katy. And it's funny, we were talking about the Katy Austin Westlake game, that Austin Westlake dominated that game. And so he had an opportunity to win a state championship there at Katy, and kind of brought that back to Springs and really changed the identity really at Clear Springs. To where for us, it was we were throwing the ball 80 times a game, running the ball maybe 2 to 3 times a game, a hitch, a slant, or a stop. That was a run play. So seeing it now going a little bit pro style when he was there, then now when Coach Renfro come back in and bring Coach Chavez, the new offensive coordinator, really seeing them spread the ball again, be able to give guys like Noah and Ashton an opportunity to be able to shine in that passing game, and also having Cody Coleman as well, being able to spread that ball. For me, it was really exciting to see. So kind of got a detail like this year, how that exciting was for you, training with Noah, training with Ashton, seeing them throw the ball a little bit more, and seeing kind of how that gave them opportunity to prove what they're capable of.
Well, knowing Coach Renfro from what we played with Coach Renfro and just seeing him grow as a coach from when he went to DC and then he went to head coach at LaPorte, you know what I'm saying? It's just surreal to see them grow as we keep growing, you know what I'm saying? So being able to talk with him and being able to have a how can I say it? Like we definitely have a professional relationship, but the fact that he coached me and actually knows that I know what I'm doing and did what I did at a high level, he respects me to help his kids and he respects my opinion on things. So it builds a good relationship through the whole program because it takes a community and it takes way more than just the coaches and the parents. It takes people like me and other people to make a bridge between all that to make it all connect. So being able to talk with Coach Chavez because he actually coached my cousin last year at Corpus Christi Miller. Coach Chavez actually coached Devin, my little brother, at Kingsville. And I had worked with him on some receiver stuff while I was there as well. So me and Coach Chavez had a good relationship. So being able to speak on how he wants stance and starts, certain concepts he runs, does he want the receivers to block inside shade or outside shade? It helps me when I'm training because now it's like, all right, you have to do it this way. I know your coach wants it done this way, so you gotta listen. So to say, like you don't have it. So where if I didn't know the coaches, it's like, all right, well, my coach is telling me this, and my coach is telling me this, and you telling me a different way. Where now it's like, no, I'm telling you exactly the way your coach wants you to do it. So we're working on getting it done correctly. So, and as far as being able to work with him and see the playoff run, it was special because even though Coach David was a hell of a coach and he did a great job when he came back as the head coach, getting the rolling in the right direction and winning district, they just couldn't get over the hump and win in the playoff game, which was a good thing to see them beat a Pearland team they lost to last year. So I know a lot of those guys lost to that team in the playoffs, and I think that's going to upstart or change and culture. I feel like a lot of people are buying back into community. You know what I'm saying? I know it was a big difference in seeing a lot of people at the North Shore game than the Pearland game. So there's a different feel to it. They did great the first half. I feel like they went into the game with confidence for once and thinking like, I talked to a lot of people that didn't go to Clear Springs, and basically they feel like Clear Springs had an entitlement but we were winning early, and then they just feel like they're that because of that early success. So now we have to get it back to where we're making runs in the playoffs because it's achievable. You know what I'm saying? Katie Pato is in the state championship, and it's their second or third year, I think. Shadow Creek went to state, their second or third year. So it's not about how long your school is built. It's not about a long-lasting tradition with everything changing and with COVID and certain stuff like that. It's more so establishing your culture when you establish it and how you don't carry that forward when you carry it forward. I think that set the foundation to go on the playoff wins hopefully soon. Cool.
All right, DeChe. So we got in a little detail about some of the athletes that you're working with from Galveston County area. 7-on-7 is coming up. Football season's coming in. I know we got the state championships that are coming up pretty quickly. But as soon as the new year rolls in, 7-on-7 is going to be a big deal. This will be your fourth year working with Mike Evans Elite. This is Mike Evans' 7-on-7 program out of Galveston County. So kind of going into detail about the growth of that over the 4 years you've been there, the role that you play there, and really what you guys are looking out to accomplish in this upcoming season.
Okay, so how it all started was Vernon Chevins. I played with him at Texas A&M Kingsville. He played at Sharpstown. We played against Sharpstown in high school, actually. Played against Kendrick Williams, who started Mike Evans Elite. And he just knew that I wanted to do it for the right reasons and was in it for the right reasons. So I was up there playing basketball at the facility, watching them train the kids and stuff. And then Mike was there. We was all playing basketball. And then we almost got into it. That's how I knew we were going to end up like really enjoying each other because sometimes it take that to know that that person is on the same level as you. But, yeah, man, it happened organically. I stayed up there for a few days to get it all in solid, took it all in, learned, did a lot of learning, and just really helped them out that first year in Katy. And then we went forward with starting the Galveston County team. We only did 18 youth. Clarence Dalton, Moses actually right now is the #1 rated JUCO corner in the nation. He has his top 4 of Utah, Mississippi State, UH and TCU. So that was surreal to have the first guy we had kind of in the program to really do what we wanted the program to be done for. You know what I'm saying? Give you an opportunity to know that you could be whatever you want to be. You can reach your highest potential. And we actually gonna start training again on Tuesday. He'll be back in town from Kilgore. But it's just, you know what I'm saying? It was surreal. That type of stuff makes it come full circle because that's the reason why we're doing it. So this year we were really trying to make a focus of, which we have been trying to make a focus of having a lot more kids from Galveston County, but we're gonna make a big incentive this year. And with that being said, Brandon Robinson from Texas City, who works with DAB, dynamic athletic fielder, correct? Yeah. Yes. He does a great job with kids. It's all about the kids. Put the kids first. Calling me right now. I'm gonna call you back, Brandon. But yeah, so he does a great job, and he works with a lot of the kids that I don't work with in Galveston County and vice versa. And it was kind of making the kids divide, so to say, in the area, like who to go with. And the area is not big enough for us to do that, and everything always works better when we work together. So me and Brandon had good combos. I had a few good combos, and we definitely going to collab and we'll bring it all together so we can keep it all at home and be able to start a pipeline for them organically, that they don't have to go out of their area to achieve what they want to achieve. Like, it can happen right where you at. And I think a prime example of that is South Oak Cliff in Dallas. They're going to speak this year. And it's just a prime example of how a lot of people in certain areas, in certain situations, will rather make excuses and not just do the things that you can do on your end to make it better. And if everybody does that, then you'll see a change. So there's no reason why South Oak Cliff and Dallas could band together to make their team go to state, and we can't get one of these teams down here to be able to have some accomplishments like that. So I'm definitely going to try to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zaine, I don't know if you remember Brandon, but Brandon's with Dad. And so back to the agency that we used to work at, Brandon was our head NFL and athletic trainer that we utilized, that we sent guys to. He's worked with the former twins at the University of Texas. I know he has heavy ties down there in Texas City, Lamarck, in that area. And so for me, you hear about Recruit G County, and for me, like, that's big. Like, okay, we're gonna recruit G County. Let's really recruit G County. Let's go to Galveston. Let's go to Texas City. Let's go to Lamar. Let's go to some of these other areas to where some of these kids don't have the opportunities to be able to go to a very nice facility, or to be able to, work with the best 7-on-17 because they're traveling. You got to buy plane tickets and hotels and things like that. So whenever I hear that, and I hear that you and Brandon coming together and you guys trying to do that and build that, that's really cool to me. I know he already has a really established brand with Dab and everything. And I also know he deals with, multiple other select travel football teams in that area as well. So to hear you guys collabing, I think that's going to be a really good opportunity for some young athletes here in this area. So that's going to be very exciting. And obviously, we look forward to being a part of that in any way that we can, to support, to show up, to
that's what
whatever.
I was about to say. So, and it really started with my little cousins, Jonah and Zach Parrish, who I train, and he works with too. But I kind of train more, and they kind of play for a 7-on-17 more. And it was just like no reason for them to have to go back and forth. Like, why can't everybody be at one place where I'm playing and coaching with everybody I want to be with? And that's how it was with quite a few kids. So it's going to be a great environment, a very family-like environment. Mike Evans Elite was already there. LaKendrick and them are doing a great job with the kids in the Houston area and the South Houston area. So we just going to try to bring that same thing down here where Mike is from, and make it to where we really giving the kids a chance to be able to be successful, because that's all it's about at the end of the day. So y'all for sure pull up to the tryout December 19th, Sunday. If the child is between the ages of 6 and 15, they need to get there for the 1 to 3 o'clock portion. And if they're 15 to 18, then it'll be 3 to 5 for their portion.
And that's at Clear Springs High School.
Yeah. It'll be a great deal, a lot of fun. Free tryout, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to pay the tryout, so.
Definitely. I'm going to get Bash's little ass up there and get him slinging the rock a little bit and see what that's about. No, man, that's stuff like that is awesome to hear. Obviously, Mike is a huge image in this area, for being from Galveston and what he's able to do in the NFL, not only in the NFL, but, as a father and as a Christian and everything he's able to do to build his legacy and to leave that. And, for me to know people like you personally that are trying to, help him do that in whatever way that you can, it's awesome to hear. So very excited to see that, and see what that's going to show later on down the road. With that, Zaine, you got any questions for DeChe? I know we've been talking local G County and Houston stuff, and obviously you're from the area, but being up in Dallas right now, any questions for him that we want to throw at with him, whether it's college football, what we're seeing right now, NFL, anything like that?
No, not really. I mean, we've had DeChe on enough to kind of know the backstory and what's going on. I am curious if you want to talk and elaborate on this a little bit, just kind of came to mind. Is there anyone you train that kind of flies under the radar and you feel like doesn't get the appreciation that they should yet?
Yeah, this is my favorite part. I was waiting to be able to get to this part. So it's always fun and easy to talk about the guys who, you know what I'm saying, have what we can't teach, so to say. So guys like that are 1%ers. The Noahs, Donovan, Julians, like I help them. Like I work with them, but like they can work with anybody else. I wouldn't say they'll get the same results, but they're gonna be successful no matter who they work with. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? It's not me. Yeah. And I'll never take credit for any kid that I train with for that matter. But it is some kids that come to me who are a little more raw and a little more unpolished, where it's really like, Coach, I want you to build me into what you can help me and you can see me. You know what I'm saying? It's more personal when it's like that. And there's a few guys that one is Ian Dunn. I feel like he's gonna get what he deserves his senior year. Not that he did it his junior year. I just feel like he's a hard-working guy. You don't ever know when that hard work pays off. And I use Ricky to him. Like Ricky was working hard for 3 years, didn't get a catch really in the NFL. And this season he gets, you know what I'm saying, over 20 plus 30 catches. So that's what I'm trying to tell my guys. You never know when that hard work's gonna pay off, but you can't not work hard at the end of the day. You still got to work for the process. So Ian Dunn is a guy. Ashton Schumann, I feel like he's not underrated, so to say, or flying under the radar. He's starting to get some attention. It's just, you know what I'm saying, he's not getting the attention that he wants yet, and it's bound to come. It happens when it happens, and sometimes we can't control when it happens, but he's definitely a guy to look out for. I have 2 receivers at Pearland that I work with, Christian Pitts and Aiden Glasper, and I have one more that's playing basketball right now, Patrick Bridges. Those guys are hell of an athletes, and they'll be good. Embry Allen and Nicholas Peace at Dickinson. Nicholas Peace already has an offer from FAU. Comes from a background of football talent, you know what I'm saying? Started as a sophomore on varsity for a great Dickinson team with a lot of talent, so it's tough to do over there. He's definitely going to be a 1%er. He's going to the U.S. Army Combine this year as a sophomore. I work with the running back, Elijah Harris from Clear Lake. He's going to the U.S. Army Combine. He's a sophomore. Caleb Black and Klein Oak. He's kind of more known, but he's definitely a name to look out for. And I have a few other people. I can go down the list. My clientele grew organically, and it's a blessing. All the people really come to me to work hard to get better. So I'll name all my guys. If I sat here all day, I'll end up naming everybody. Yeah. Everybody deserves to be named. So. But yeah, man, I had a great group. Like this year, I had 26 guys make all district, which I didn't realize and notice till a week ago. And then I kept seeing them reposted. And these guys like Nathan Barnett, who don't get his just due, but he busted his tail this year and got first team all district at Clear Brook, at a tough district to get all district receiver. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes it happy for me when I see stuff like that. And Travell John, you know what I'm saying? He went from getting nothing the year before to second team all district. And that's like your hard work paid off. It might not be a D1 scholarship, but it shows like if I bust my butt, I'll get successful results, and that goes into your life. Because I always tell them football and life goes hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a perfect way to wrap that up. Is I think that's probably one of my favorite things about the game of football. It's the life lessons that come along with it. It's okay. You get knocked out 10 times, and we're going to get up 11. It's like Dan Campbell says, that 11th time we're going to bite your knee off whenever we're coming up. It's like, hey, that's the type of lessons that this game can teach. And as long as whatever foundation that you're building, whether it's a sports platform or whether it's training or whether it's coaching or whether it's who knows, whatever it may be, part of the game, as long as it's built around, hey, we're just trying to build life lessons and help people along the way and utilize it to help us grow as individuals, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. And so it's cool to hear, those other names of those kids, because to be honest, I was one of those kids. Like,
Exactly.
I was a very solid football player in high school. I'm not trying to make this all about me, but I was a very solid football player in high school that played behind a lot of great talent, multiple Division I athletes that played in front of me, and I learned a lot from that, and I made second team all district, and I remember like making nothing as a junior, and then going to make second team all district, and that was big, and that gave me an opportunity to play in college. So when you talk about Trip Hall, Joe, it's like, okay, I've been in that shoes, I know what that's about. So that's really cool to hear from that perspective.
Oh yeah, and I feel bad if I don't say this person's name. Like, everybody knows he holds a special place in my heart. I don't play favorites, but he's my favorite. But definitely Luke. Which we're gonna get him his just due. But Luke is probably one of the top 5 to top 10 most underrated receivers in the state. For a guy to get all county 2 years in a row, first team all district 3 years, and return to MC is just this justice how the process goes. He definitely deserves to get a shot.
And that's Luke Vidal out of Clear Falls High School, class of 2022. And I mean, we've been at multiple camps and we've seen Luke perform extremely well. And obviously, Clear Falls went down that deep playoff run this year, and he had a lot of big plays with that. So it's going to be interesting to see. Is he still undecided at this point of where he's going to be going?
Well, yeah. So a lot of my guys in that realm of recruiting, as far as not the bigger name guys, so which I like to say on camera, this doesn't make sense to me because I talked to some of the coaches at these levels too. So it just doesn't make sense to me that schools that are D2 or FCS or even Group of 5 schools feel like they have to wait until the big schools say they don't want certain kids to start recruiting them, when you could have been on ahead of the curve with those kids already, because maybe those schools will never talk to them, or maybe they'll just go to you because you talked to them before the other schools. You know what I'm saying? But it's a sense of when you're not one of those bigger guys, you have to wait until basically it's November to February to see if you're gonna get an offer, instead of being able to go through the whole recruiting process after the junior season, so to say. You know what I'm saying? Because those schools aren't recruiting you until that time comes, which is a small window that you can be able to see all the talent available. So I feel like they definitely should work on how they're evaluating kids at that level, because it's a lot of kids not being seen. So yeah, that definitely has to be fixed. So he'll start getting stuff. D2 and FCS and recruit him hard now. So it's around that time where it's.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
Yeah, absolutely. And he deserves that. Like I said, he's the type of caliber of player that he definitely could be playing somewhere on Saturdays. Absolutely. Whatever level that may be. Exactly. And honestly, there's a lot more other kids that are like that in this area that can be doing that. And sometimes it's the recruiting process being started late. And that's something that me and Zaine are like, well, hey, that's something maybe us doing an interview with them or doing things like this where we're building a platform for you to give them a shout out on, and we share that on our platform, and we have listeners and we have viewers from all across the country that are listening. And hey, we got friends that are coaches in college like Dimitri Donald and Kenny Hill and things like that. So it's like we're sharing that, they're seeing this. Exactly. Maybe they go to a convention and they're talking to another school or whatever, or coaches clinic, and it's just networking, man. That's all life is about. It's not your net worth, it's your network.
And that's what I envision about everything that's going on. It's supposed to all work hand in hand and be able to work together, as far as with me having a kid, you guys being able to pub that kid. I have connections to, Nick Harris, Mike Rose, Tim Bashizi, certain guys who are well-renowned in the industry, where we both respect each other, to where if it's a like-minded person, as far as you guys, y'all will be more respected easier without doing all the extra work, where it's like, okay, now we can have it to where this platform is a respected platform for these guys to be able to get their publicity. Because that's what it's about at the end of the day, which I'm starting to realize. It's about getting stamped by whoever you need to be stamped by for everything, for the ball to get rolling. Like, It don't even matter about how much you worked or what you did up to date of getting the stamp for whatever. And this is an industry in anything, you know what I'm saying? It's just about getting that stamp for people to verify you, so to say, that, all right, his word is bond or whatever he's got going is, you know what I'm saying? And that's how that process gets going to where now Ashton does a interview with ineedit Sports, and then 6 or 7 other schools get to see his highlights during the what's the name, and now, you know what I'm saying, it opens up his recruitment, so to say. So it definitely works on
exactly, and that's all we're trying to do, you know. So, man, I greatly appreciate you coming on. It's always a blessing to have you and to be able to just talk about what you're doing, and also to know that we are friends and you're going to be at my wedding coming up in February. And the fact that, again, it's your networking. We had the opportunity to grow up together and play together, but still, and it comes down to supporting your boys too, supporting small businesses, supporting, hey, I want to support you. You know what I'm doing. You're trying to support me, and that's what it's about, man. Is linking on and, you know, doing what you want to do for your brothers and help them and make a difference in this community. So again, that's what we're all about. So a couple things, just to recap, you know, we always got to get these little predictions on before people hop off. So the next big sport, you know, college football playoff is coming up. You got Georgia against Michigan, and you got Alabama against Cincinnati. Just real quick, me and Zaine already kind of announced in our last episode who we like in those matchups. We both like Georgia. We both like Alabama. This is just a win. We're not talking spread or anything like that. To advance the national championship. Who do you like in the semifinals, and who you got going to Natty?
So I got Michigan beating Georgia by at least, I really want to say 10, but I'm going to go 7, 8 points. I really want to go with the upset for Cincinnati, just seeing that LSU could have upset them, Arkansas could have upset them, Auburn could have upset them. I could go down the list. Alabama is a great football team this year, but they're not what we usually see. I feel like Cincinnati's going to go in there with a chip on their shoulder, but I just don't know if they have the depth to close the game, like the same thing that happened with them in Georgia last year. I definitely think they're going to compete, and I want to pick them, but I'm not picking against Saban. I'm not even going to do that. So I'm going to go with Bama and Michigan, with Harbaugh getting a natty and solidifying his, you know what I'm saying, his rank where he can stay at Michigan however long he wants. You know, I'm going to go Michigan. Oh, Toy Drive, which Josh and these guys gonna be reporting there December 23rd. I believe we're gonna have it at Clear Springs. We're gonna throw the football around a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody bring a toy to get to play, and it's gonna be a good day to try to bring the community out together from different areas and be able to help some people out who might not have a Christmas that they want to have or should have. And we're gonna try to do that. So December 23rd at Clear Springs, we'll have a toy drive.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we'll definitely be a part of that and help out, and we'll get the word out on that. Share that on all of our personal social medias and everything like that. So, me and Zaine, Georgia, Alabama. You got Alabama, Michigan taking the natty. That would be crazy. I mean, you know, Harbaugh, first Michigan coach ever to win AP Coach of the Year, and then he comes out and beats Alabama in the national championship. What a way to solidify that season. And I think you're exactly right. Michigan does win a national championship. I think Harbaugh immediately can just write his own check for whatever he wants at Michigan. Hopes of him coming to the Bears would be gone for me, you know. But, hey, I said on the last episode, I would not be upset seeing Michigan beat Georgia. I would not be upset by any means. I just personally view Michigan as a one-dimensional team. And I think Georgia, being how stout they are up front and that defense, I think they're going to be able to stop the run. And then it's going to come down to what can Michigan do at that point. And I think that's going to be where they struggle. And Zaine, I think you kind of feel the same way on that, right?
So, okay, but as far as Georgia's offense, what are they going to do?
Put JT Daniels in. they have to. They got to get away.
Hutchinson is the best player in college football, easily.
Who is?
Hutchinson is the best player in college football, easily. Even though he didn't win the Heisman, he's the best player in college football. So we'll see. We'll see. I think they're going to definitely be able to it's going to be like 14, 17. It's going to be something like that.
It's definitely going to be a low score.
Bennett is mud. I mean, I don't want to say mud. Bennett isn't my cup of tea at quarterback.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? You might have the best defensive college roster accumulated, and you have a walk-on quarterback.
Yeah, that's my thing. Well, I said this on the last episode, like him being a walk-on isn't the end-all be-all. But for me, the ceiling of the team, if Georgia actually wanted to win a national championship, they'd have to put JT Daniels in. He just has way more arm talent, way more upside. He can actually spread the ball around the field, get the ball downfield. Like, I just think they're playing like they're accepting like Alex Smith type of football, which is nothing's wrong with Alex Smith. I like Alex Smith, but they're saying, let's go manage the game and just not blow it. And they might be able to have success with that against Michigan, but we just saw Alabama turned it on for the first time all season and was able to light them up.
But why JT Daniels don't play? Like, I still don't.
That's what I'm saying.
I know he was hurt. He was hurt, but I'm saying, is he still injured or is it just?
Oh, he's healthy. No, he's healthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays, whether it's going to be Daniels or Bennett that's going to be playing in that game. But on another note, for the NFL, we talked about this, I know, again, on the previous episode, but just kind of recap that. Well, we're going into week 15 of the
How
NFL.
about them Cowboys, though?
Going into week 15
Yes,
of the
sir.
NFL.
How about them Cowboys?
Cowboys, yeah. Dak did not look very good, and you said this earlier. So if you want, you can go into detail about that a little bit, about how you feel about Dak and his performance, you know. But I will say, man, Micah Parsons,
The best
defensive player in the league.
football.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, are they still going to give Rookie of the Year to like Mac Jones or Jamar? Like, how do you not give it to Micah Parsons, bro?
No, Michael Parsons gonna get it.
That's what I'm saying. He has to.
But with the Cowboys right now, I feel like it was a sense of we kind of got away from what we were doing to be successful. I think Dak, for some reason, I don't understand why he holds the ball. So that's my only thing with him. As a 6-year starting quarterback, especially being the highest paid quarterback, I feel like you should be able to pre-snap and read things a little faster, process things a little faster to be able to avoid some sacks and some negative plays, which is, I feel like it comes from holding the ball, because it's a difference if you have to get the ball out quick rather than you have too much time. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady does a great job. I'm watching the game yesterday, and I was kind of complaining about that because it took off a little more sometimes when they're playing man, and they're only rushing 3 or 4. And Tom Brady had like 3 first-down runs on one drive.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why Tom Brady is able to extend drives with his legs and Dak can't. Because I don't need you to do a 20-yard run. I'm just talking about that 4-yard run. Now we can get 3 new set of downs. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like our defense is now when healthy. I feel like we just really bend don't break right now. But that's the teams that usually win it. All the teams that make a run isn't always just a super dominant team. There's a team that gets hot.
So are you saying this today that the Dallas Cowboys are going to go to the Super Bowl? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that we're going to win first round, and then we're going to see what happens after that. I'm hoping for NFC Championship. Until we go to an NFC Championship, I'm not having Super Bowl aspirations. Like I got step by step. I've never seen an NFC Championship, so after that, you know what I'm saying, we'll see. We have more than enough capability to do so. More than enough.
So who's your pick to come out of the NFC to go to the Super Bowl this year?
Bucks.
Tampa Bay again. Okay. And who's your pick to come out of the AFC?
Chiefs or Patriots right now?
Chiefs or the Patriots.
Chiefs or Patriots right now.
And with that, with those matchups you got, who do you got going into the Super Bowl and winning? If you had to pick a Super Bowl matchup, Bucks.
I really would love to see the Bucks and the Patriots. I would love to see that.
But I think everyone's starting to gravitate towards that matchup a little bit. Seeing Bill Belichick against Tom Brady, and I mean, that would be that would be wild.
That media week, we might have to go down there for that one. We might have to be a part of that media week.
Yeah,
but
that would be nuts.
Definitely, I love to see Tom Brady get that last one. I think he deserves it. Anytime Mike Evans can add to the trophy case, you know what I'm saying? Home team, we definitely gonna go with that. So I feel like they had the best team though, easily. The Bucks getting healthy at the right time. So
yeah, and like how we kind of talked about in the last episode, saying there's so many teams that have the capability of getting into there. Green Bay looking really good against my Bears last night. Thank God that they beat Chicago. Gosh, if we would have somehow pulled that win out of our ass and won, and that would have just wrote Nagy another 5 years checks. Like, just here you go. So that was that was stressful, to be honest with you. You know, Nagy's over here going to halftime. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're having fun. Like, oh, yeah. And meanwhile, I know you ain't making no adjustments at halftime. None. And, of course, good teams do. Green Bay comes out, dominated us in the second half, and took care of that. So I was very happy about that. But I still like Tampa Bay to come out of the NFC. I mean, I don't want to bet against Brady. I want Brady to get as many Super Bowl rings as he possibly can. You know, and then I would really like to see the Patriots come out of the AFC. I really would, just to see that matchup. And I mean, gosh, that would be the story of everything. You know, Tom riding off into the sunset, being able to make it full circle and come back and be able to play against his coach, who everyone, he couldn't win without Bill Belichick
or the Super Bowl.
You know, and then his first year without him wins the Super Bowl, and then second year without him, you know, Bill Belichick goes drafts a rookie quarterback. Imagine being Mac Jones in that situation. What a story that could be for him to launch his NFL career. Gosh, if the Patriots beat Tampa Bay and Bill Belichick's is like, yeah, guess what? I reloaded. I reloaded. I wouldn't got to be a Tom Brady. I'm really that guy. Like, you know, that really could happen.
They did throw the ball 3 times to win, so
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that would be amazing.
55 mile-per-hour wins.
Right.
Right. Oh yeah, one more thing, man. Coach Hooks. I just wanted to shout him out one time. And it's special to see people that we working with go together because, you know, Evan Stewart, he been training him for a while. He committed to A&M, and, you know, Noah and Donovan going to A&M. So it's just everything's coming together and being tight-knit. So it's fun seeing all that type of stuff happen, too.
Evan Stewart out of Frisco, right?
Yep, Evan Stewart out of Frisco.
Right. Yeah.
That was a big pickup for us. And man, hey, Noah, Evan, Donovan, share this, man. Send us to Cam. We need Cam Dewberry to come in, man. Come on, man.
It's a good deal because, you know what I'm saying, me and Coach Hook's going to hold 2 to 3 camps every offseason, and then these guys get to meet each other and be around each other before all the other stuff happens. So it's like an organic relationship and a natural relationship. It's not forced, you know what I'm saying? So they're able to run routes. All right, I respect you now. I see you catch the ball on that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good deal, and it's all coming full circle. It's going to be a great year going into 2022. We're going to have a great offseason coming up.
Well, good deal, man. As always, appreciate you coming on, brother. Appreciate you sharing your story.
I can't wait to come to your wedding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be fun, man.
Somebody throw me a hoop on a date.
You're gonna have to be in charge of finding that one, so I'm sure you'll be able to figure that out. But yeah, man, it's always a pleasure. Another episode, guys. Share it, let's talk about it, especially some of those young guys that you were talking about. That, you know, some of those on the radar guys. Exactly. Shoot us out. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook @Needed Sports. On Facebook @Needed Sports discussions. We're going to have a lot of hot discussions coming up with college football and the NFL. And, you know, college basketball is heating up. Baylor blowing out Villanova last night. So you guys continue to stay in tune. Yep, NBA. You know me, I would say.
Big game tonight between the Rams and Cardinals. If the Rams can somehow get that win and get revenge, then we got a 3-way tie in the NFC for first place for that coveted bye down the stretch. So Green Bay did go into Arizona, beat Arizona. So Green Bay would have that tiebreaker over the Cardinals if they are to lose. So that's a huge game for the playoff picture.
Yeah, another very good point. I really like the Cardinals in this game. I think this is going to give the Cardinals an opportunity to solidify themselves as the number 1 team in the NFC. But me saying that, I asked DeChe earlier who he liked, and he said Cardinals, and I'm like, damn, Rams.
Yeah, so I'm definitely –
that's how it always happens.
I'm locking in the Rams as soon as we get off of this, just because of that point. So it's got.
That's why I'm gonna. And
the Rams have looked terrible. So
that's why I'm gonna fade myself, and I'll take the Rams. It's like last night, the Packers were the last leg in a parlay I had, and I placed that knowing like we're not gonna beat Green Bay, so I might as well take Green Bay. And of course, as soon as the Bears went up like 10-0, I was like, all right, let me throw like 20 on the money line, like just to like hedge myself, you know. It's like Jesus. But yeah, man, again, as always, it's nice to have you on here. Zaine, appreciate you, brother. Look forward to seeing you. Safe travels. I know you're traveling a lot for the holidays and everything coming up, going to Disney, so that'll be fun as well. So hope you enjoy it. And as always, man, you guys stay tuned for next episode.